Welcome for those of you who are watching the stream. We have a really juicy topic today, and we're going to introduce in a sec. All right, so we are live in the Twin Flames Universe Open Forum. Welcome, everybody. We are going to be talking about the top reasons that you know that your twin flame reunion is coming soon. So, is your twin flame reunion coming soon? You can find out in our workshop and our discussion today. So, as we're talking, if you have a question you want to ask us, please comment and we will respond. So, I'm Leesie. I'm a master certified ascension coach with Twin Flames Universe, and I'm joined by other ascension coaches, and we have a lot to share with you. This is going to be really juicy, and I'm really happy to be here and happy that you're here. So we'll go next to Kanisha.
Hi, I'm Kanisha, and I'm also a certified Ascension coach, and I've been on this journey for about 5 years.
Hello,
Go to
I'm
Paco
Paco.
Deb.
Yeah, I am a certified Ascension coach with Twin Flame Universe 2, and here with my twin flame, Deborah.
Yeah, flippy twin flame. Yeah, we've been in union for almost 2 years in the physical, and we are both certified Ascension coaches in the Twin Flame Universe. We've been on our journeys for about 5 years, and Paco pretty much also 4 or 5 years as well. And we're happy to be here too.
Yay. And we are joined by Kiran. Would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Hi everyone, so I'm Kiran, I'm also a certified Ascension coach, and I'm in Harmonious Union with Stephanie, and I'm here to answer a question if you have.
Thank you. So again, if you're watching this, don't be shy, comment below and we'll answer your question. So the question is, how do you know when reunion is coming? Like, how do you know when you're going to be in reunion with your twin flame? And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about what it's not. Some common myths about, people we have ourselves or we experience others expressing some signs that actually are myths about when reunion is coming. And I want to preface this by saying that the truth is you're already in harmonious union with your twin in spiritual truth, and that what we're talking about is like the illusion of separation and like the layers of illusion that are between the truth and your experience of the truth. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. So what is it not? Who would like to share?
I will go first. So what is not the sign of coming into union with your twin flame is getting your signs or your confirmations from tarot readers or psychics. That is definitely not one way to do that. That will keep you in the same energy and vibration and in that same energy of chasing. And this took me a very long time, probably not a very long time, but about a year. So to me, that was a long time of really learning that when it came to readings and stuff like that, though those are very helpful tools along the journey to learn about like maybe what your current block is or the energy of your union. But to get a confirmation from someone that your twin flame is coming back, that would be false because that is between you and God is who brings you your twin flame. And so getting that information, you just want to be very, very careful. Also, wanting to make sure that you're receiving readings and information from those who are actually like pursuing the journey and pursuing their inner work, because you would want to get information from someone who's aligned in this work and who's aligned with what you are desiring in your union. So yeah, not getting your answer from tarot cards or from psychics, because that will continue to just take you down a path that isn't what you're desiring. And like you said, your union is within. And so as you choose to heal and love yourself unconditionally and move through whatever comes up, that's really the direction that you are going to be wanting to go in to come into union with your twin flame.
Right.
Absolutely agree. Oh, no, go ahead, Leesie.
I was actually just going to ask if anyone else, that was excellent, and if anyone else had any sort of myths that they've heard that they want to debunk.
Oh, well, the most famous one is that your twin flame is going to come tomorrow. Now, a little bit in alignment with what Kanisha was sharing about the readings. I remember it didn't take me like a year, but I was a little bit into that before finding this body of work. And it was very much like, oh, it's going to come tomorrow. Okay, cool. And then tomorrow came and nothing happened. And it took a while for me to understand that you actually have to do your part in it. Like you have to take some steps, very specific steps to manifest that union. Like Leesie was sharing at the intro, like at the intro of this live. We are just healing a false belief that we are separate from our twin flames. And to heal means that you need to take a step. You need to look at the places where you are seeing that misalignment and kind of like fitting it, believing, oh, I'm separate just because they look like this person is over there and I'm over here. And they seem like we are doing completely two different things. And that is kind of like what actually will bring the result. But I remember like, oh, like I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna like just sit here looking pretty and my twin flame is gonna come. Because someone says that they come tomorrow, like the divine masculine comes tomorrow. And I was like day in, day out. And I was like, okay, after a couple of weeks, almost a few months, I was like, okay, where is this guy? Like, this guy is not coming. Actually, the person that I was manifesting at the time being like presented to me as my twin flame was not giving me the time of day at all. And so I was like, okay, something here is not really working. And when I started understanding the dynamic of my twin flame being a perfect mirror, I was like, okay. And yeah, like the more I started embracing this side of the journey, the easier it was to stop sitting around and waiting for anything. It was just like, okay, just mind my own business, gonna do what feels good. And it immediately pretty much resulted in meeting him, even though I didn't know at the time that he was my twin. But I didn't wait. I just simply took a step and there he was.
Yeah, that really touches on like how even with the tarot reading or getting information from a psychic or just that saying that the divine masculine is going to come home tomorrow, it comes back to showing you where you're seeking love outside of yourself. Mm-hmm. And that is a really big lesson on the twin flame journey, is to understand that the love that you're seeking is within instead of looking outside of yourself for it. And if you're not aware of it, it's hard to get out of that pattern of, for me, it was like, I would watch the tarot reading and I would feel better, and then things wouldn't shift in my reality. So then I'd feel bad again and go back to the tarot reading and hope to feel better. And there was just this high that was coming from it, but it was never anything that was in a solid foundation of unconditional love. And it was never anything that was actually teaching me how to heal the pattern or to move past the block within my twin flame union, like the work here and in Twin Flame Ascension School does. It always gives you a clear direction on how to move through the block so that you can clear it and come into harmony in that space.
And don't worry, there are very clear signs of when reunion is near. We're going to tell you about those, but we want to debunk some of the myths first. Are there any other myths that you all, Paco, Kiran, maybe can think of?
Yeah, I think about one, because that happened to me and I was upset because like about that. The myth that oh, it's your twin flame because you like the same thing or you do the same things, when it's absolutely not true. Like I share more stuff with my false twin flame than with my true twin flame. Like a lot of things we don't like the same things. We're very complementary here. And we can still share stuff, we can still watch sometime TV and that, but basically we don't really like the same show, because a lot of time we are not watching for the same reason. And yes, a lot of things that like I see everywhere, like, oh, my twin flame like that too, or this specific thing, or like to do that, stuff like that. So it's my twin flame. Well, not really, not necessary. Like you can have you can have very different taste and different activities, different passion, different thing. And it can be your twin flame too, because what you share, what is similar, is something way deeper than just the physical stuff that you do. So that's yes. One thing I learned, because I was, at the beginning when I got in Harmonious Union, it's also when I met Stephanie. Didn't knew her before, and a lot of time I was like, that makes no sense, because like a lot of things, like she doesn't like it. Like why? Like yes, there's some stuff okay, but the majority of things, like it's like, but how can she be my twin flame if she doesn't like the same thing? And then I realized that I had this thought that like, well, as your twin flame, you're like meant to do everything together, kind of. But that makes no sense too, because like you're not a clone or replicate. You are like very complementary, so it makes more sense this way. And kind of fun piece there, but yeah, that's a myth I encountered.
I could think about another one too.
Me too.
You go.
I have a very good one too. The myth that mostly it's the divine masculine who has still to learn something, because the divine feminine is already so
Enlightened.
yes. And it's so cool when you realize that you are at the core one with your twin flame, and when it doesn't matter if you are the divine masculine or the divine feminine, realize when you heal something because you're upset about something in your life, that then it changes. But this myth, I was holding on to that kind of also still in our union. Sometimes I think, yeah, she has to work on something.
Oh, really? That's interesting. That's what I was thinking about you too.
And when we do that, nothing changes. And this is also with your twin flame. When you stay in this, he has to learn something. I am already almost ascended. I just need to wait.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's your kind of that. I just need to wait for him to kind of come and go with me through the door of heaven. Then nothing changes.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking.
No, the one I was thinking, actually, I had this experience too, is believing that your twin flame union is like around the corner, because you start seeing a lot of like angel numbers, especially the 1111. And I remember like, ooh, there's a taxi cab and it has like 1111 on the plate. And I was like, oh, my twin flame is near. And it actually meant that I was moving forward in the right path, in the right direction. And this was the universe's way of giving me a wink of, yeah, keep going, keep going. But it didn't mean that like my twin was
ringing the
like,
bell and
yeah, exactly, like
ring.
knocking on my door.
And would you like to marry me? He's telling you then when you see 888.
Well, that would be very cool, but I don't think that's kind of like where it's
not yet
comes from. They will get there. We will get there, honey. Don't worry. But yeah, that was one kind of like a big one for me. I remember going up, woo! And of course, like no.
Yeah, that's really funny. And I mean, we love angel numbers because they're very meaningful, and it's like connecting with the divine. But like you said, it doesn't mean that your twin flame is gonna ask you to marry them. I mean, maybe, but typically no. And so other things have to happen first. And I just wanted to say hi to people who are watching with us. We've got Crystal. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Stephanie. Let's see who else is watching with us. We've got German, Sandra, Robin, Sini, Mike, Daniela, Christina, and Lex. So if you're just joining us, drop a comment, say hello. And if you want to ask a question, please comment. We have answers or guidance, and we have resources to give you. We'll give those to you. If you don't want to watch the rest, you can go to twinflamesuniverse.com. But I recommend watching the rest because we've got some juicy stuff, because we haven't got to like, what are those actual signs that twin flame reunion is near? And I think it's time. We don't have any more myths to bust. I think it's time to talk about what are those signs that twin flame reunion is near, because they're here. And I kind of want to start by sharing a little bit from this book, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover, which some of you know. There's a new version. It has a different cover on Amazon, and I wanted to share that there are some stages of twin flame union. There are 4, and they're not what you may think of at first. Separation is not a stage, by the way. The first stage is the decision. So deciding to meet your twin flame, deciding to be with them, right? Your decision, after you decide to be with your twin flame, you have already acquired them on the inside. And that's what Jeff and Shalia write. So that's one sign that reunion is near. Stage 2, the meeting. So when you ask for what you desire, you become aligned with what you desire, then you get what you desire every time without exception. And I want to share a little bit, because when you do claim and decide to be with your twin flame and choose to walk this path, you will meet them, no doubt about it. When you do that, you're going to be meeting all of you on every level. And what Jeff and Shalia write is that it took them 6 months of daily contact before they completed their meeting stage. And it's basically the stage where all parts of you are becoming intimately acquainted with all parts of your twin flame on every level possible. The meeting stage will often take longer than 6 months for many twin flames who are not consciously focusing on developing their union as efficiently as possible for the purpose of harmonious twin flame union. So if you want to go the swiftest way possible, twin flame ascension school, hands down. Jeff and Shalia are exceptional in the speed with which they developed their permanent and harmonious twin flame union. And so their school, if you want to do the exceptional fast track towards getting to know yourself and your twin flame ascension school, that's the way. If you want to go slow, you can go slow. And so then the next stage, I mean, sometimes it can take people from 3 to 5 years to complete the meeting stage. These stages they're like sequential but not linear. Did I say that right? Is that correct? It means that you can be in one stage and another stage at the same time. Like, it's not like you have to wait to complete one stage before going to the next. There are parts of you that can be in meeting and parts that can be in the decision all at once. Stage 3 is the upset stage. So many of you actually are experiencing that stage too right now. You've got upsets coming up in your union. Your twin flames, your divine mirror, they're showing you where you need love. They're triggering you because they love you and they want you to heal these places. And you just keep persisting. And this is where the mirror exercise comes in. Like, you need to learn the mirror exercise. I don't want to beat around the bush. You need to learn the mirror exercise and get a coach so that you can really support yourself walking through the mirror exercise. Because the upset stage is challenging, and that's why a lot of us came to the school. Stage 4, and this is getting into like what it feels like before reunion. Stage 4 is unconditional love. And I'll just read this part. Unconditional love is what you will be experiencing in the 4th stage of harmonious twin flame union. Love is absolutely the result of deciding, working through the misalignment, and then receiving the fruits of removing the obstacles of love between you and your twin flame. You will, with absolute certainty, experience true divine love in this 4th stage of your harmonious twin flame union. The 3rd stage of a twin flame union usually takes the longest, like the upset stage, of any of the previous stages, but with each successful realigned thought, with each newly loved part of you, you bring one part of yourself through to stage 4, which is a magnetic, attractive field to your twin flame. You can't attain your harmonious twin flame union without continuing this process of unconditional love and acceptance. These stages are sequential but not linear. You will not find that one day you're completely in upset and the next you're completely in love. there can be parts of you which are in meeting, parts in upset, parts which are in love, all in the same moment. So I just wanted to kind of share that and especially highlight that last stage because I feel, and I wanted to give a chance for the unions who are here, that's everybody, to share what their experience is. And I've definitely, you know, I wanted to share my story. I'll save that because I've just been, you know, sharing from the book, but I will share my story in a bit too. So who would like to share first?
I resonated a lot when you were reading through the unconditional love part, because it made me realize that's exactly where I was before revealing Paco. For me, like, it was a process, and in a nutshell, like, God was already putting that thought. I was like, what if Paco is your twin flame? And Paco is a trans man, so at the beginning he wasn't Paco, he was Cornelia. That's how I met him. And God was very gently asking, okay, what if Cornelia was your twin flame? And I remember having that inner conversation and not really liking the idea. This was about the time that Kiran and Stephanie and many other couples in the community were finding out who their true twin flame was. And there were a lot of same-sex union couples coming up and achieving harmonious twin flame union. And I was like, if that happened for them, why not me? Like, what makes me the exception? And I was very honest. It's like, okay, I have my upsets, but at the same time, I chose to love each other unconditionally. If he was the truth to be my twin flame, then I made that kind of like choice that we will heal through it. And that was enough. And a couple months later, that the question came up again. I was, how do you say this? Exploring that with my current coach at the time. And it felt like we were more kindred spirits in a sense, but not really twin flames. And about like a couple more months or a year later, something like that, it was very clear that was the next step. I was already very unattached to who my twin flame could be, even though I was doing applying the teachings, I was doing the work. Everyone was like, hey, Deb, you've been here for quite some time now. Like, you still don't know who your twin flame is? It's like, ain't got a face, ain't got a name. I don't know. At some point it will come. Like, there was this, not only the unconditional love and a lot of compassion for what we've manifested as a union, but also this deeper knowing that if I continue to put one step in front of another, like essentially as saying in the classes, then my twin flame, it was impossible for him not to present itself in front of me in some way. And that's exactly what happened. There was this tipping point in which the next step was just to explore with him. Are we twin flames or not? And the rest is history. We had a call, we got clear, and here we are. But I remember having like that sweet spot between non-attachment and also a deep, grounded faith, apart from knowing that, okay, we will have our upsets. I don't have to like certain things that we manifested as a union, but who cares? We can work through them. And that made it possible for us to come together rather quickly, actually. I don't know if you have anything to share on your side.
No, perfect.
Who has a next story?
Yeah, I think for me, it was very similar to what Deb had pointed out, was just this place of unconditional love and a place of non-attachment. And I found that I just felt a deep level of peace in pretty much every area of my life, especially like my romance and just really surrendering my union to God. I had let go of the belief of like when and how and where it's going to happen to just knowing that it is. And as I relaxed into that, the person that I am still, you're always exploring deeper. I feel like this is something Jeff talks about, is like having to, especially when you move through an upset with your twin flame, you surrender them and then you move through the upset. And if God brings them back, it looks like that's your twin flame. Like, as long as you keep doing the work and keep surrendering them, if they keep coming back, then okay, this is who God is showing you as your twin flame. So I always feel like you're always going deepening, exploring your twin flame, even if you're in union or not. But at this point in time, um, the person that I was, his name is Eliud, I was avoiding even looking at him in a romantic sense, because I had a belief that he wasn't my twin flame. And I had to get into this place of being completely non-attached and just open to where God was pointing me. And like Deb said, it's very gentle. It's like, why don't you look here? And he goes like, no, I know better. And that's not my twin flame. And that's not who I thought they were going to look like or be like. And once I really surrendered to exploring that process, things happened very quickly, very quickly. And it required me to just completely trust the process and just move through my feelings and what came up and just choose love in every moment. And so it just came down to feeling like this place of peace of, I'm in the right direction, and either way, no matter what happens, I'm going to end up where I need to be. I'm going to end up with my twin flame because that's what I choose.
Amen.
I think that's exactly what you feel when you go closer with your twin flame. The fact that, well, even if it's this person or not, doesn't really matter, because at the end, that's your twin flame. So when you do the work naturally, they will come. Like, you can't lose what is yours. So that's I wanted to share my experience. So I don't know about the signs when you enter in union, because I was not in union. I got in harmonious union. So I don't know how is it in union. But although I didn't knew Stephanie before. I think I talked to her like the day before we got an Harmonious Union officially. But for me, the months before, I was living in another city, and I was like having a relationship with someone that I saw was my twin flame at this point. But then, I healed and I wanted to go deeper in my life purpose, and God was telling me like, well, move into this new city. Well, I go into this new city, and I was like, that makes no sense. If your twin flame is this in this city, why God asked you to move in another one? But I was like, well, doesn't matter. I felt good with that, so I just followed, with that. And like in a couple of months after, like 2 or 3 months, it was revealed that, well, the more I kind of distanced myself from this person, the more I was like, yeah, this person is not my twin flame at all. And I released the attachment. But at this point, I was like, well, I don't really care anymore about who is my twin flame. I know it's coming. I don't know who is it. I don't want to know. I just like give that to God. And I was like, okay, let's focus on my life purpose. So I focused on becoming a coach. It was in March 2020, when there was starting having the big lockdown everywhere in the world. And I remember the week when I became a coach, I was like, wow, I feel so good. I was starting feeling like super good, super like peaceful, and like everything was amazing. I was like feeling like so powerful, and that like everything is possible and so aligned, yes. But basically I was feeling peaceful because I felt for the first time I was at a good place in my life. I was where I should be. And that was feeling very relieving and really peaceful. And then it's like, yes, it was announced, well, I got Harmonious Union, and then that makes sense. So, and yes, as you were saying just before, it's something you have to explore, because even if you got with a person you think it's your twin flame, you still have to explore if it's truly your twin flame. Because even like months after, we are still kind of exploring, because you still need to kind of assess it. If you heal, is this person healed too? Like, if are you growing together? Are you making the same choice together? That's what show you if it's your twin flame or not. And now we got to a point, 3 years later, that like we were not like going to all this shit, all this stuff we went through with someone else will be absolutely impossible. If it's not my twin flame, that will not be possible. So that's why no, we don't really have doubt anymore. But it's important that you explore that and keep exploring until, yes, you know that you don't have doubts anymore. But yeah, so as I say, the sign for me was a really feeling of deep peace and surrender, and the feeling that you are at the place that God has for you. Yeah.
Beautiful. It seems like there's a theme going on where everyone who, right before union, or harmonious union, you experience deep peace and a deep harmony with God, deep harmony within yourself. And it's not a false peace where you're numbing out and blocking off a feeling. It's like a true deep feeling. And I know for me, I experienced separation from Josh last year, and it was following a situation that I experienced a trauma reaction, and it wasn't compassionate for us to remain together in that period of time because I had a lot of trauma response and it was not peaceful. And so I set about healing it. Like never once did I not, never once did I give up, but instead of becoming disheartened and disillusioned, I just continued to walk the path. And I went through the mind alignment process, which is to heal trauma. And that really helped. Like, I worked with my Ascension coach once a week. I watched Twin Flame Ascension School, and I went to the mind alignment process because I wanted to address like what this trauma trigger was. Like, I would feel like my twin flame would do something, and I would feel fight, flight, or freeze, like all of them, and react. And, I went out of my peace. And that's not a conducive environment for your harmonious union to grow. And I didn't really understand at the time, but I always, I was seeing him as separate from me. Like, oh, he has this thing. And I'm like, I think Deb and Paco were like, I'm the enlightened one. I didn't think I was enlightened, but I didn't think I had a problem. Like, I didn't think I had any. I was like, oh, well, my problem is I didn't have boundaries. Oh, I mean, yeah, sure, but that's part of the issue. But I didn't feel safe looking at myself all the way because of this trauma pattern. And so I really unlocked a lot of places in my heart through trauma healing with MAP, the mind alignment process. And recently, so like December, in the fall, Josh started talking to me again on Discord. And in the summer, or excuse me, in the winter, we started connecting more and hanging out. And now we're seeing each other every day. And he works part-time at the university where I work. And, just things are coming like this. And I want to share the one thing that I feel now is very stable and steady is that I have no resentment towards him. Like, I used to have this like resentment towards my twin flame. I wasn't aware I had it, but it's like when I think of him, I just have this unconditional love for him. And that's because I had to give myself unconditional love first and really see myself as innocent and give myself that peace so that it almost happens simultaneously through working the process of the mirror exercise, through watching Twin Flame Ascension School, and suddenly where I was like experiencing my twin flame being like a baddie, like the enemy, or not really, but I suddenly loved him, like, and it was always there. Like the love was always there. It was just I suddenly realized there wasn't anything blocking that love anymore. There was nothing he could do, nothing I could do, nothing he could do would stop my love for him. And it was like that is the thing that made it possible for us to hang out. Nothing changed so much on the outside. He may still do some things that in the past would trigger me so much and I would run away, but I don't run away anymore because there's a lot of love there. And um And I think it feels really peaceful. And of course there's upsets, but I would just say, like, keep healing and putting one step in front of the other, no matter what your union looks like. Because mine, I didn't know what would happen. Like, I knew that I wanted to heal, and that's, and I wanted to be with my twin flame, but I didn't know how I would get back to that state of unconditional love that I knew was there. Like, but I want to really share with you, like, please don't give up, because no matter what your union looks like you can heal it. You can. And I know I don't have time to go into all the details, but everybody here has faced a lot of challenges. Like, it might look like it's easy on, to someone who doesn't know the people in this video, but I know them, and they've been in this community for a long time, and they've each had their own really, really challenging challenges they've walked through. Like, they got there, they earned that, like, not as like something that you buy, but like they did the work, and you can too, and it is doable and attainable. Anyway, so I think that may wrap it up in terms of, like, how do you know when you're about to attain union. What about questions or comments? Do we have any that are coming up?
Well, most people are like loving what you just shared. And like it was very beautiful. Like Stephanie was saying, that's beautiful. And Jenny as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Sandra, this is amazing. And we did have, like, Lex, for instance, was sharing, I am working through a block to putting in effort and building a real relationship. I want instant harmonious twin flame union. And I feel like addressing this instant, like, because a lot of us tend to mistake, or perhaps it's kind of like a cultural thing, I'm not quite sure yet, that we believe that, oh, okay, I just do one mirror exercise and boom, I have my harmonious twin flame union. Or that if we stay inside our homes and kind of like caves, and all we do is inner work, then I will get to my harmonious twin flame union. And I feel like what it's been shared through everyone's experience is we simply learned what the teaching has been showing us, which is embrace your life one step at a time, go where you are being guided, explore where you are being guided. And as you heal whatever block is preventing you from kind of like allowing those chips to fall into place, that is what will bring you your harmonious union. In a sense, you're actually always working towards it. Like Leesie said at the very beginning, we are always divine truth already in harmonious twin flame union. We are just clearing out the places where we still believe we are not. So working through blocks of like putting in the effort and taking like building a real relationship, that's absolutely okay. Go for it. Give yourself enough space to work on building that relationship. It starts first with you. Like, none of us could have ever manifested our true twin flame coming into our lives if it wasn't for the fact that we chose to finally sit down and have a conversation with ourselves. And like Leesie was sharing in her experience, like being very honest with where we are at and looking at the places that we don't always want to look.
And I think also, like, this instant harmonious union is coming from the belief that when you get harmonious union, it's fine, it's easy, it's done. There is no healing to do. Well, I'll tell you, when you get in harmonious union, it's worst. Because, like, you kind of part of you get in harmonious union, yes, but there's so many other parts that are totally not in harmony at all. So you will face an extreme pressure about healing yourself in all this place. If you don't do that, well, then you can't maintain this harmonious union there with your twin flame. And that's why that's a huge challenge. It's not easy. Now, 3 years after, now we start to be like, it's a little bit more like less challenging. But yes, just do your healing. You don't, because like getting harmonious union will not solve any problem. You will still have the same problem, but there will be more a pressure about you healing this problem. So it's really not comfortable to be in this place if you haven't done any healing. So that's why like instant harmonious union is not really a thing, because well, you do the job, you do the work, you heal yourself, and the more you get close to yourself, well, naturally your twin flame will come close to you.
Yeah, and also being like in the school, you get to see in classes where there has been unions who have done that and then instantly bounce right back out because they had this belief that once they came into their union that they were going to have it all, which in a sense you do, but you have to do the same thing that you did prior to union, which is we like to say chop wood, carry water, which means healing the upset and moving through everything that comes up and loving yourself. Like that's not going to stop. If anything, because you have your divine mirror in front of you, like it's even more intense because they're with you at all times, and so it's going to feel uncomfortable if there's anything out of alignment with love, and try moving forward with that. And so yeah, you want to make sure that you are having a solid foundation and that this work is your solid foundation and it becomes just part of your life, and that it just becomes natural when you start to feel yourself being in some type of upset that you automatically go into mirroring and loving yourself and taking care of yourself in that way, and knowing that that's going to take care of it by having that relationship with God.
Amen. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like this work, meaning the teachings of union that Jeff and Shalia created, is the foundation, and none of us would be here without that, and that none of us would remain here without that. Um, and I, just to share with those of you watching, um, we don't want to come here and share all these signs without giving you the secret way. It's not really secret, but the way to attain that, and that is through the teachings of union. So what the teachings of union are it's a way of being taught in Twin Flame Ascension School, and that the Ascension coaches support you in fostering and cultivating in your life. And so it's all one thing, but there is a path. There's a way. It's not just we got lucky because we just somehow snapped our fingers and found the way. No, the way was given to us, and we want to give it to you. So I think that concludes it. Does anyone else have anything else to share, or
Yeah, I
maybe
would like
Paco?
to say
Okay.
something. We have something very special in our community. We have the Sweet Spring Fundraiser in the Church of Union. Leesie, do you have something? Yeah, I would like to invite you. It starts next week, and you can look at our website. You will share in the link the Church of Union website. We have a very wonderful thing going on. You can look there and you can donate and you can win wonderful prizes. Something from our gurus, Jeff and Shalia. They have really wonderful gifts. You can win the book signed, and you can also win the free Twin Flame Ascension introductory course signed from Jeff and Shalia, and the mandala from Shalia, and from all our coaches, our master certified coaches and certified coaches. You can win also coachings, readings, and also art, Twin Flame art. So it's something very special, and we have starting it next week, and I would like to invite you already to look into it. And
yeah, because each dollar that you donate to the church, it gets you in the raffle.
exactly.
So, and there's like about over 80 prizes in whole in total.
Yeah.
So there are high chances of winning one of any of these prizes, which are of course designed to support you in your Twin Flame Union journey.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that you remembered to share that. That is I'm so looking forward to that. It's coming up. So I think you can donate. You don't have to wait until the 19th. You can donate now, and you're entered into the raffle. So cool. All right. Well, that about concludes everything. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and watching. We love you, and we'll be back next week. We're going to have a wonderful week. We're here to help you, guide you into Harmonious Twin Flame Union and beyond. So take care, and we'll see you soon.